So Sid, you're in Toronto in the East End in Pickering. Yeah. So everybody wants to move downtown. Who doesn't want to move downtown? Everybody wants to, right? So that's the big difference is if everybody wants to move downtown, what is the reason why they want to move downtown? It is because of culture. The jobs are all leaving Toronto. All of them. Can you see? No, you can't see. There is a building right there called Salesforce. You see that building? That entire building is packing up and leaving. They're going to be getting rid of all of their employees. Everybody's going to be working from home, and they can make just as much money and save like $5 million a year on rent. Okay. Money in their pocket, right? Why would they leave? So I get that. Why would you? Why would you pay it for no reason? I get it. Makes total sense, right? So it's not going to be the jobs, but in the old days, everybody always went to the city to get a job. Everybody. And now, I mean, all over the place, right? This is the way it was. You go to a city to make some cash. I think it makes sense. It just doesn't make sense anymore. That's the difference. This is the problem is we had one guy before that was being very vocal, Western Canada. You guys still there? I'm not trying to pick on you, man. Honestly, I'm not. But I'm telling you that in the old days, I always show people this $1 here. Okay, let me flip my screen around here for you to be able to see this. What does this say? Silver certificate. $1 silver payable to the bearer on demand. Okay? On demand. That's what it says. So in the old days, you would be able to rock up to the bank and hand them a $1 bill. And if you handed them a $1 bill, they'd be able to hand you a 1 ounce coin of silver, right? A silver dollar, 1 ounce silver, 1 ounce of silver. What happened? Because today it'll cost you $45 to buy one of these. So this piece of metal didn't change. It's the exact same piece of metal. It has never changed. They've printed 45 times more money. It's the dollar that's changed, not the metal that's changed. Yeah, so this is money. This is real money. This is what you should be purchasing. This is what you should be buying. This is what you should be keeping. So if you can get your hands on more of this stuff, man, then you're going to be doing very well. You can also try to go buy it in bulk as well. You can buy 100-ounce bars of silver if you so choose. They're a lot better. You can also buy something like this, which is gold. This is a lot easier to store. It's so small, right? But gold is very, very, very valuable. But right now, silver is at its cheapest price that it has been, man. It's only been this cheap like 3 times ever. Well, silver is a great deal, I think. Sid, you're saying that you moved from downtown due to work from home and you bought a new home and now they're calling you back. Not surprised. Every other company is doing the same thing. Every company is trying to do that. Absolutely. So is your question, what should you be doing? Did you buy a big home in Pickering? If you bought a small condo in Pickering or something, maybe you could keep it. If you bought like a 3 or 4 bedroom home out in Pickering, then I would consider not buying that. I'd be like selling it and then buying something that's smarter. Condo townhouse. It's kind of on the line. It's kind of on the line. If you have to go back to your job downtown and now you got to drive back and forth every single day, think of the gas that you're going to be burning. Man, that's a tough call. Sid. Monica, how are you? Where do you buy? This is a good question. Where do you buy? Where do you buy when the market is absolutely bananas in everywhere you go? Here is the answer. You buy in places that love landlords. That's it. Buy in a place that the government loves landlords and will defend landlords. So depends where you want to buy. You know, it may not be next to you wherever you live, Monica. Where do you live, Monica, by the way? Can you give me like a city that I would have heard of? So it depends where you live, but one of the biggest mistake investors make is that they will only buy right next to where they live. Big mistake. Biggest mistake you can make. Some people are like, I want to live 500 meters from where I live. I want to be able to drive by my house to make sure. Okay, what a big mistake that is. We are always looking for our different cash streams in a property. You guys, I did a really, really cool video on YouTube. If you go over to my YouTube channel, Ruff Team Realty, same name, you go over there to my YouTube on cash flows, how we can get 20 streams of income from one house. We just did it like a week or two ago on cash flows. I think I called it revenue streams. You can go check that out on YouTube. 20 different streams from one property. You live in Vancouver. Oh, man. Yeah, do not buy there. Holy hell, no. I would not buy an investment property there. For sure, no. So where would you buy? You got to buy in a place not like Vancouver, not Toronto, for investment purposes. Where do you want to live? That's a different thing. Okay, so if I had $20 million and I had a rental portfolio built up already, I have a lot of passive income coming in, well then, yeah, buy the house that you want. You can buy in Vancouver, you can buy in Toronto. But if you want to make money safely, reliably, without having to bank on appreciation for reasons of economic reasons, then you got to look somewhere else. So you could be looking at all different types of areas. I mean, Quebec, you have to look at how long can you live in a place for non-payment. So in Quebec, it's 2 years. They could live there for non-payment. In New Brunswick, it's 2 months. In Ontario, it's 14 months. In Alberta, it's 2 weeks. In Vancouver, it's about a year. So, how long can your tenant live in your house without paying rent? It's a big problem. How much can you raise rents? Can you raise rents as much as you want, or are you rent capped? So I would always be looking at stuff like that. Go where they love landlords. So if we look at it in the US, the US has Tennessee and all this, Tennessee, Florida, New York, not New York, Texas, Arizona, Nevada. They have lots of places that you can have awesome landlord rights. That's what you want to do, my friends. Hey, thanks for coming onto YouTube, you guys. If you want, you can leave a question below and I'll answer it as you come on. I'm on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Thank you guys for coming on today. Really appreciate it. Yesterday, we had a lively session. My goodness. It was going crazy, going off last night. So we got to make sure that you are ready to make some moves when the time is right. We are heading into a time when the markets are going to be really rough. What would you be buying today? I just looked at today. The price of silver is at $17.99 US per ounce. So for a coin of silver, it is at rock bottom prices. And they need this stuff for EVs. They need it for solar panels, electronics. They need this. How come it's so cheap? It's because the COMEX markets are pushing the prices down. But for the real people who know the value of this stuff, they're out there buying bricks of this stuff because they know there's huge value in this coming up. And that's why you need to have this value, because this is real money. This is not real money. This is just a piece of paper with some funny ink on it. This is always worth something. This is not always worth something. So back in the day, my grandfather used to work for $1 a day. You think that we could live off $1 a day? So it doesn't really matter, right? What is $1? $1 is always changing, but this has always remained valuable. That's why I think everybody should have some silver. So I always say that you guys have to have some of your proportion in money. You need to have some Bitcoin and some Ethereum. You need to have these two things, right? And the reason why I keep Bitcoin, see, this is a gold coin and this is gold. Bitcoin is basically a collectible item, kind of like gold is. Most gold in the world is held either in jewelry, like in India, or held in vaults. Nothing much. This is a collector's item. Whereas silver is massive utility. It can be used in all kinds of things, electronics. And that's why I think Ethereum is like silver, because Ethereum can be used in all sorts of ways. So just buy a little bit of Ethereum, buy a little bit of Bitcoin, not a lot. How much? I was just talking to one guy today. He goes, I just put $20 a month in Bitcoin and 20 in Ethereum, just $20, and he just has it set on autopilot. So he went onto the app, he opened it, he put the number in, and it just automatically does it. Doesn't think about it. A month. And you could choose to do that, whatever, just a little bit, because I still think that the prices are going to go down, because Bitcoin and Ethereum and the stock market all seem to travel all together all the time. So the prices will probably fall quite a bit more, because we're not done with this market route that's happening right now. So if you had to look for something that was cheap today, this is what I think is cheap today. Houses, though, do not buy houses right now, man. Don't buy them. If you have a house now, oh boy, it depends on the type of house. There are certain categories of homes that are out there, certain categories that you will have to sell. They're losing a ton of money. And the higher the price, the more likely that you're going to have to sell it. But if it's a low price, you probably want to keep it. That really depends. In addition, like, if you are going to be looking to buy something now, don't buy. If you're a first-time buyer, please, Lord, do not buy anything right now. Crazy. Just let the market settle. Obviously, a lot of news is going to be happening in the next couple months, next 6 months. But while that time is happening, just stay watching, be ready to buy something when prices drop quite a bit more. We expect all the prices on homes to drop quite a bit. Thank you guys for all your questions, YouTube and TikTok. If you guys have any other questions, I'm happy to help you out. We're always, we coach people, we advise people on how to build wealth and how to get out of this crazy market. We always say escape the matrix, crazy matrix these days. They want to keep you in that game and just working 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. No, thank you. But I think it starts with something like that. Such a good sound, eh? It sounds so different than real metal, like a quarter or something like that. Sounds a very high pitched ping. So this is a Canadian dollar, Canadian silver dollar. These ones are very, very high price. I don't suggest to get those right today. All I would be buying is something like this, which is a 1 ounce round. It has no government. It's a private mint. It doesn't say how many dollars are on it. This is what I would be buying today. Hey, Pat, how are you? Thanks very much for coming on. This is a silver dollar. This silver dollar here, made in a certain year. It's made by a government, and it has how many dollars on the back. Yeah, Pat, can you lowball in the London area? Everybody's trying to lowball right now, but nobody is hurting right now. It's not really a time that works for lowballing. So people are trying to lowball everywhere, and I see some absolutely wackadoodle prices that are going out there. So, earlier in the year when housing was in mania, at that time, we would bring an offer to somebody and they would say, hey, we got a house, we got an offer for $1 million. But before it, the day before, they said, if I get $1 million, I would be so happy. And then when we get a deal and we bring them a deal for $1 million, they're like, I'm devastated. I wanted 1.5. And I'm like, just yesterday, you said that was good enough. So a lot of deals fell apart then. Now it's going to the buyer side, and we have a home worth $1 million and they're asking $1 million, and we have someone come in and offer them 600,000. So those deals get thrown out all the time. We have a house that we have up for sale. We got an offer yesterday on it that was like so far below where it has to be that it wasn't even worth it. We just didn't even sign it back. So that's what's probably going to happen if you lowball too much, but you have to figure out what the value is. All right, story time for you, Pat. I got a story for you because I've done this in the past too. Let's just use the $1 million mark for a home, okay? So I had the home up for $1 million. It's worth $1 million. I advertise it for 900,000. And all of a sudden, everyone is putting in offers of 925, 875, a little high, a little low, but the home is worth $1 million. So we took it off the market. I relisted it at 1.1 million. I put it back on the market. I got a whole bunch of offers, and someone offered $1 million for it because they thought they were getting a great deal because it was 10% off. So that's the thing, is people didn't even know what the value of the home was. They were just going based off of the dollar. So what is my point for telling you that is you need to know your market really, really well. If you know that that house is worth 600,000 and you offer 600, then you should get it regardless of what price they're listing it at. If they're listing it at 700,000, they're off. You can get it for 600,000. Does that make any sense? Just become an expert in the area that you are trying to sell or you're trying to buy. So what we have right now is we have a lot of these guys that are out there that we call them spray and pray people, because they just want to write 27 offers a day and be giving them out, and they're all going to be $250,000 short. Now, why do people do that? I think because they watch a lot of guys on TV, like on YouTube, that are wholesalers. Someone like Ryan Pineda or something. He's got a lot of guys. They make 100 offers a day on properties. So if they're making 100 offers, every now and then one person will be willing to do it. So you can go about that, but that's in the US as well. I don't know anyone who in Canada where that works. Um, yeah, but good questions, you guys. Anyway, you know what I just realized? If you put these two together, do you notice anything different between these two? One is a lot thicker. Yeah. The federal coin is actually a lot thicker than the standard one, but the standard one is larger around. It's bigger. You can see right on the top. I didn't even know that. Here I was playing with them on the table like they're poker chips. So when you're going to be going, if you are going to be going to look for homes, you got to be trying to find a property that you can get at a reasonable price. Oh, Pat, yeah, I have a scale. But that's one of the most important things when you're going to buy silver is you need to be buying these from trusted, reputable dealers, because so often these are faked. So imagine this. I can go buy this 1 ounce of gold. This 1 ounce of gold is from the Royal Canadian Mint. So I can buy this exact bar from AliExpress for $5. And you can buy this from China for $5, and they look almost identical. And this is real, right? It looks good. Serial number on it. It has little maple leaves on the back. Same thing you can get for $5 online. So these punks go on AliExpress, buy these for $5. They bring them back by the thousands, and then they try to find suckers to pay $2,500 for this thing. So you need to have either a tester at your home, or you need to have a tester that like a friend that works in a coin shop or something, and he'll go and test the coins for you. Be very, very, very careful. You can buy fake 1 ounce coins for like $2 that look fake. So be very, very, very careful, man. It's unbelievable what happens out there. I know mine are real just because I've tested them. So online nowadays, there is so many gold and silver sellers that are out there. These guys are buying and selling all of these gold coins and stuff, but you don't know who they are. They're all online. Who are these people? So I have a company that I've been using for 15 years. I've been inside their vaults before. You can go there physically in Montreal, Canada. They have a couple other locations on Earth, but they've been around a long time, so I trust them. And I've tested all their products, and they're all real. So we like that. Thanks guys for coming by tonight. Thanks for the questions. Pat, thanks very much for coming on. I hope that I give you some value. If I give you any value whatsoever, please follow me on my YouTube channel. It would really help me out a lot. I think everybody should be buying some gold and silver in your name. So here is the thing. In my entire professional life of trying to help people and coach them in building businesses and buying the gold and silver and buying Ethereum and crypto, out of all of that, I've only ever had one person ever go and do those things. Nobody ever goes through with it. Everybody wants to learn. Everybody wants to learn. It's like there's this massive YouTube crowd or something that just wants to watch a video and learn something, but never put it into practice. And then the next day, forget about it. Same thing is, I used to go to conferences, and I'd go to a conference, I'd sit in a conference for 3 days, learn a lot of stuff, but then you never implement it. And then it was all a waste. So you have to learn and then do, learn, do, learn, do, not this other way around that we're doing right now. You know what I mean? Um, do you guys, does anybody ever want to, if you want to send me some questions, you can. If you want to come on live YouTube, if you want to give me some questions, I can answer them as well. We're always here to help you build wealth. Recessions are the best time for you to build wealth. Warren Buffett says that it rains gold, and you have to run outside with a bucket and try and catch as much of it as you want. These little gold coins are falling from heaven. You just got to go out and pick them up. So by learning about this stuff, you're going to be able to become financially free. If you want 1, 2, 3 years, you can be done. You don't have to work anymore. It really depends where you are right now. But if you talk to one of us, we can help you get through that and figure out where you are and build a plan. Pat, where are you right now? I woke up one day and I had an eye infection. Can you believe that? I had 2 days ago. Unbelievable. Never had that in my life. I'm like, what the heck's happening to me? Oh, Pat, you're in Toronto. Sweet. So am I. Toronto's awesome. You have a gold safety pillow? Nice, bro. Nice. I love it. What kind of gold do you have? What kind of gold do you have, Pat? So for me, this is a collector's coin. I do not suggest buying these. These are not very good to buy. This is a British sovereign. It's almost a quarter of an ounce, but it's not 24 karat. So when it's not 24 karat, these coins, you now have to pay taxes on them. And the premium's too high. This is Queen Victoria on the back. Pretty cool. So I don't buy that. We buy weight. And this is why I buy 1 ounces usually from the Royal Bank of Canada. I don't buy the fancy coins. They'll make a version of this, with a maple leaf on it kind of thing, with the queen on the back in gold, but it will be way higher. The price will be higher. So we buy for weight. We don't buy for pretty ever. It's kind of like how clothes, I pay extra for clothes if they're made of cotton and they're breathable. I don't like to wear polyester or something like that. So I buy something that is, I'm willing to pay that, but I'm not willing to pay more for what? Paying more for name brands or something like that. Andrews, hey buddy, thanks for coming on YouTube. I appreciate it. You said, dude, love the content. Keep it up. Canada needs your energy. Appreciate it, bro. I'm trying to change people, trying to change the world a little bit if you can. Saying you're not impressed with 3.3% economic growth stat. Listen, man, those numbers are manipulated. I don't trust any of that. You think that the world is getting 3.3% better? This is the problem, man. The housing market is in a bloodbath. The stock market's in bloodbath. Crypto's in a bloodbath. What's making money? Even the people who bought gold, they've still lost some money on gold and silver. Everything is down. So what is 3.3% better? That's my point, So they can manipulate any number that they want. We, you, me can look around and see the quality of life of people is getting tough. I just talked to a client this morning. He's like, David, I have one of the smallest mortgages out there and my payment's still up $650 a month. He can't afford it. That's the problem, right? So yeah, thanks, Andrew, for coming on. Pat from TikTok, you said the lady bought gold coins from the bank and after she had trouble selling them. Yeah, don't touch it from the bank, man. Don't buy anything from the bank. The banks are, I don't touch them. I buy them all from either private mints. This is a private mint or a private company. I don't go to the banks. I definitely would never buy a gold or silver certificate from some place like Royal Bank of Canada or Scotiabank or something like that. They don't, for every 1 ounce of gold that they have in their possession, they can now sell it 150 times for pieces of paper. So you think when the times are tough and I actually have to go cash it in, I'm going to be the first one out of 150? I'm going to be that lucky? I'm not that lucky in my life, man. Haven't won the lottery, so I know that I want to have it in my own possession. That's why I always go get this. The reason why I do not say to go and get coins. So why, when I go, here is 1 ounce from a federal. So this is the government issued. This is 1 ounce from a private bank. Okay. Private mint. It doesn't say anywhere. It doesn't say anything. It's from Sunshine, right? It says Liberty on it. What does that mean? Okay. So if I go buy this today, okay, they want $40 for this and $34 for this. But if I go to sell it to them, they'll give me 25 for each. They don't care when they buy it back from you. They don't care what's on it. They just care about the weight. That's all they care about. So the fact that you paid all this extra money just so that it's extra pretty was a waste. You just flushed that money down the toilet. So I do not buy pretty ever. In 2011, I went to go and sell our very expensive leather bound, double stamped, extra pretty gold coins. They were all wrapped up in this great package. I brought it in. They took it out, weighed it on the scale. We're going to give you spot price for it. That's it. Actually, it was spot minus 10%, by the way. They didn't care that it was collector, super special. They cared about the metal, which taught me a lesson. Never buy pretty, only buy weight. Okay, David, so smart ass, why do you have any of these? First of all, for demonstration purposes, but one time I was checking all the prices, and when I did check the prices, they were the same price. So might as well buy the flashy one for the same price. But that doesn't happen often. I did an entire long gold and silver course. I filmed it over a long period of time, and it's been in editing and post for weeks now. Hopefully it'll be ready soon. It's basically everything I'd ever learned about gold and silver over the last 25 years of investing in it. And you know what? To Pat's point there, if anybody has trouble selling some silver, gold, or whatever, listen, there are so many buyers out there. It would make you dizzy for this stuff. You could put it on Kijiji or Craigslist or something. I've seen people show up on bikes and testing it on their testers and buying it off of there. Every single pawn shop on earth will buy it. Every single jeweler will buy it. And a lot of these coin shops will buy them. I mean, you can walk in almost anywhere. I could probably walk from my house, not even drive, and find 10, 15 places that would buy it from me. On TikTok, Sayram, you said Canada housing market to collapse in 1 year. Who's not to say that it already hasn't collapsed? There's areas up in the Muskokas and King City are down 50%. Brampton's down 40%. Mississauga's down 35%. I'm saying it already has, and it's going to continue. But if you're saying in 1 year from now, it's going to be a lot worse than it is today, I agree. I agree with you. But this whole debate on, is there a recession? Is there not a recession? Well, no, technically we're not in a recession. There are a lot of jobs. Listen, man, the jobs were doing burgers at Sonic and McDonald's. That's not a real job, man. And, for all of time, recession was 2 negative GDP quarters in a row. That's even on the Series 7 exam. What is a recession? 2 negative quarters, right? But all of a sudden, we're in an election year, and now the whole debate comes up. Oh, I don't know if it's actually a recession or not. Listen, I'm not here to try to rewrite the dictionary. That kind of pisses me off. It is what it is. And we as adults got to be adult enough to be able to look around and see that the situation is dire for a lot of people. People are losing their homes. They're losing their jobs. They're either laid off or their company is thinking about laying them off. There's a lot of problems. And when you see that much trouble in the market, stock market's down, everything's down, there's trouble. So we got to know there's some trouble and learn how to make money off of it, not just stay away from the trouble, how to make money off of it. You got to be able to make money in any economy. You said that's true. You're funny. I kind of get riled up, man. So, you have Roman coins, Pat. Awesome, man. Very, very cool. Listen, I only follow one rule. I believe that everybody should have gold and silver in their portfolio. Everyone should have some gold. Everyone should have some silver. Yes, but I buy weight. Except for one thing I ever bought was this one coin, which is a British sovereign at the height of the British Empire. I thought it was really cool. Queen Victoria on the back. But I have thought about buying Roman coins before, just because I love the history. You're literally touching history. Maybe something from Israel as well. I thought that would be cool, but one day. Yeah, everything around us is expensive, but this is the thing. Only buy things when they're cheap. Only buy things where they're cheap. I have this friend of mine. He runs a real estate brokerage. He is loaded. I mean, he's got so much money. It's unbelievable. Okay. And I'm like, when's the last time you bought a property? Guess when the last time he was? 2012. He bought so aggressively in 2009, 10, 11, 12. And then things were kind of peaking out to where they were before the drop. And he goes, nope, I'm done. And so he just like rides it out. He's like, I'm going to wait until things are cheap again. And so he's been waiting for 10 years to see what's going to happen in the drop. So during those 10 years, what is he doing? He's also buying Bitcoin and Ethereum and buying bricks of gold and silver. So as you buy this stuff, this is 7 pounds. As you're buying this stuff, it's accumulating money, and then the next recession is going to happen. He has so much cash to deploy. He's going to be buying buildings, not just homes. Buildings, and we're just waiting for the price to drop. That's what I'm doing as well. Pat, 2 questions, Pat. Is this a gold bar? Yes, this is a gold bar. This is from the Royal Canadian Mint, RCM, and they have little serial numbers on them, and a bunch of maple leafs on the back. I love these things. They're so small. It's a great way to hold your wealth. Great way to hold your wealth. What kind of car do I drive? Don't know why that is important, but I drive a Mazda CX-5. I love that car. 2019, I broke my back again, by the way. Long story. I've broken it 3 times, but I broke my back in 2019 when I went shopping for a car. The only reason I bought it, I was walking into every single car maker, and I had a measuring tape, and I was measuring from the floor to the top of the seat, how many inches. The higher the raise, like the less that you have to slouch down in a car, the less stress on your back. So that's the only measurement I was looking for. How do I sit like this? Just straight, so I can keep my back straight. But in a car, the seat goes down and you have to bend more and it hurts your back. So that was the only metric. And the CX-5 has the highest seat. Plus I'm 6 foot, and it helps me. I have enough room, and love the car. It's great. But yeah, this is a gold. That's gold that you can pick up. You can also buy, this would be called a novelty piece of gold. You can buy gold like that. That's just stamped Bitcoin. There is no real Bitcoin. It just is an advertisement, I guess, for it. And this is historic gold. This is old British coin. But I buy weight. I go after weight all the time. This is why this is probably the best deal that you're going to get. Something like this. This is the Royal Canadian Mint bar, 100 ounces. That's all solid silver. Cool, right? Andrew, are you still with us on YouTube? If you are, yeah, thanks very much for coming on. You left me some really nice messages. I really appreciate Andrew. He's a really nice guy. So I'd like to help you out if there's anything I can do. Anyway, you guys, the world is bananas now. The world has gone absolutely crazy to the fact that now the Bank of Canada is going on a Twitter page saying that we did not print any money. These guys are too much. I think they're drinking the Kool-Aid, man. Unbelievable. Of course you're printing money. They're printing a lot of money. It's ridiculous. I think it's actually embarrassing. Anyway, it's embarrassing as a country that we're going down, we're inflating, and it hurts most people. So who does it hurt? It hurts the middle class people, the working people, and it hurts the poor people. Inflation makes rich people richer. So that's the bad news. The good news is that you guys can change that. The rules that they use apply to you, same as. So if you go read the Canadian real estate code and go and read the entire tax code, you can see all of the loopholes that they're using, and you could use them too. They're 100% legal. Why would you cheat on your taxes when you could pay no taxes legally? Why? Just doesn't even make any sense. So that's what I think you guys should do. I think everyone should do that. Why wouldn't they? That's when my life changed. I was broke as a joke. I had no food. I couldn't afford food. I couldn't afford rent. I couldn't afford to fix my car. I couldn't afford gas, nothing. I was scraping by, and I was on welfare. I was on welfare. And you know what ended up turning that all around? Lots of things, but it started with educating myself, reading shit tons of books. By reading a lot of books, I started to learn a lot. And that's why I say it's your best ROI that you can get in your life. All right, guys, we're getting to 6:30 or so. So I will be going on. I got to do one more YouTube video. If you guys want to stick around for that after, I'm going to be going live on that just so I could do that one more YouTube video. What was it on? I was going to do one more video on the government of Canada is sending out $2 billion, billion with a B, to build 17,000 units that are rent to own. I'm just shaking my head at that. It's unbelievable. So, to rent to own, you got to come up with a massive down payment and pay a payment over market rent for the whole couple years that you're going to be staying there, 3-5 years. So you got to come up with usually 3-5%. Give the government 3 to 5% cash. After you give them cash, you got to pay an extra $200-300 more a month on rent. And then maybe in 3 years, you'll get a chance to buy it. Maybe. The odds, though, when you do rent to own, it's something like 5% of people actually end up buying it out. So to me, I think it's just another way the government is going to be taking money from poor people. So that is why I really think you got to learn about financial literacy. Plans are this year is I want to create a massive course. It's going to be long though. I mean, it probably will be a minimum of 30 hours, the course broken into modules. I call it like university. You'll learn more in 30 hours of real life, how to make money in that course than I did. That's like my whole 20 years all put together. It's going to be a doozy, man. It's a beast though, because it takes so many months to film it, so many months to write it all, and editing will take probably 6 months just to finish it. Yeah, Andrew's on YouTube there. Rent to own is a big scam. And can you believe that Canada is going to be doing it not only to 17,000 different families, they're also going to be charging the rest of Canada $2 billion for that privilege. So you know what? Here is the thing is, you can't ever figure out how do we not contribute to them. And so, you know what I do? I can't affect what they spend money on. I can't affect how much money they're printing. So I have to figure out a way to go and out earn inflation. And inflation is 15% a year. So how do you make it that your business is growing at over 15% per year? That's the question. That's what you have to do. And in addition, go and read the tax codes, go through all the tax codes and figure out how to pay them zero in taxes legally. And they will thank you for it. They want you to pay zero taxes. If you go and read the tax code is like 1,000 pages. It's not this book. I'm just using it as an example, but one page will say, this is how much you pay on taxes if you're a worker. One page. And the whole rest of the book is tax loopholes to not pay taxes. And go read the book. You want to pay no taxes? Go read it. Or go and get a book like from Tom Wheelwright. Tom Wheelwright wrote a book called Tax-Free Wealth. So go read it and learn the principles of how to do that, right? And then you can do some really, really good things in your life. That's what I think you should do. Anyway, the whole rent to own thing, I think, is a joke. It's sad to me. Boy, what do you do? Anyway, you guys, this has been really, really fun. Thanks very much for coming on, giving me some good questions. You guys on TikTok, if you like this, please go over to my YouTube. My YouTube is the exact same name. Please follow me there. If I give you any value whatsoever, please send this to some of your friends. Please let them know that I'm here. Good questions, though. So, you got to be doing that. If you have a large house, though, and you have like a detached house or semi-detached house, it's probably going to drop a lot in value. So it might be a good time to sell it. If you're going to buy, I would not be buying now. I wouldn't be buying at all. Buying now is a disaster to me. Do not buy a new condo. Do not buy anything right now. If you had a gun to my head, there are some places that you could buy today. And I've seen them myself. The best ones I've seen today are in Memphis, Tennessee, in the US. Amazing. Also in the Florida Panhandle, like Jacksonville, I've seen some homes there that are really, really good. But if the majority of you are in Canada, there isn't very many great places in Canada for us today to be buying. There is a couple towns like Lethbridge. Lethbridge is a really good city right now to buy. Are you guys all from Canada? I think that you are, right? We tend to get some mostly Canadians, I think, mostly Canadians and Americans that come in, which is good because my businesses work with North America mostly. But we do end up getting, it depends on the time of night, a lot of Europe in and some South America, which is kind of weird, right? Getting people from Argentina, kind of cool, honestly. Anyway, questions, comments, anything like that? Guys, I always go back to the same thing every day. I try to make one shout out because I really think that this is what's going to help you. Reading these books, The End of the World is Just the Beginning by Peter Zien and Ray Dalio, The Changing World Order. I think you should read these books, but here they also give you problems because one will say that China is going to take over the world and one says China is going to collapse. So these are two of the smartest people that you know. So you have to ask yourself, why are they saying that, and figure that out. And here, remember, it's not one is right and one is wrong. They both can be right at the same time. And you have to read through that and figure that out. That's amazing. You got to do that. Number one. Number two, you should be buying some gold and silver in your portfolio and having that ready. If you really want to do well, start buying it in bulk. That's where you need to buy a massive lump of silver. That's really cool. One of these will cost you about 2,000, I don't know, $700 or something like that in Canada. Andre Parent, how are you, buddy? The tax code, that book, I read it all online. I'm that nerd that goes on the Canadian Revenue Agency and I start reading millions of pages of it. And as I'm going through it, I'm making notes. I'm calling my accountant and telling my accountant what to do. To find a tax strategist is very, very hard. And most people are too cheap to get a tax strategist. Why? Because tax strategists normally cost somewhere between $400 and $1,000 an hour. So I paid that. I go and talk to tax strategists because they will show you different ways to save on taxes. Yeah. So I read so many, like thousands of pages of it online, but many years ago you could actually get it in a book. And I actually read paper pages. But you know what? You always are going to have to pay. That's something that it's hard for people to understand. You are going to pay, period, for how to learn about financial literacy. You're going to pay for it. So you can pay for all of the skills that you're going to need to make $1 million a year. You can pay about 50,000 bucks to get all that knowledge. So you can either pay the 50 grand or you can spend 5, 6 years, you know, going to conferences and reading books and hiring coaches and all that. So you're either going to be paying with time or money. And so you got to figure out where you are. Now there's always a fast track to it, right? But it normally costs money for you to get that. Same as these tax strategists, you know, they spend their life reading about tax codes in all these different countries, and then they have to get paid for their education, basically. But it's very, very interesting. I think it's interesting anyway. Tax strategist, man. Accountants don't know anything. I mean, they know a little bit, but not near enough. You need tax strategist. It's a different skill set. It's a different professional. Completely different. All right, you guys. You guys on TikTok, thank you guys on YouTube for following me on TikTok. If you do like any of this stuff, please follow me on the same name, same channel. I operate around the Greater Toronto area. Remember, I am not giving you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I could just tell you what I do for my own businesses, but I am a real estate broker. I operate around the Greater Toronto area. So we operate our teams around the Greater Toronto area, but our group also helps advise and consult people all over North America. Cool, guys. Good questions today. Appreciate it. If you have any other questions for me, this is kind of going to be your last call. I got to jump off. I got some stuff I got to do. Um, I'm not just, I don't just teach, right? I'm a working broker. We got deals going on all the time. We got to make sure that this stuff is working. So if you guys have any questions just before I run on YouTube, I'd be happy to help you out. If you have any questions on TikTok, I'm happy to help you too. Questions, comments, violent reactions, I would say. All right, you guys. So please be smart. Financial literacy is the thing that's going to let you explode your knowledge and make you a lot more money. You want to become financially free? You generally can do it within 3-4 years, but it really depends what you're starting with, right? We talked to a client earlier last week, and he could retire within 2 months if he wanted to. The thing that is holding you back is that you never thought of it that way. You have to kind of erase the preconceived ideas that you have in your mind and learn to think about things a different way. Andre, all the best, buddy. Thanks very much for coming by. Really appreciate it. YouTube, Andrews, thanks so much for coming by. Thanks for all the nice comments. Really appreciate it. Guys, I'll be seeing you all around. We try and put out content every single day. Thank you so much for learning with me. I'm trying to change the world. If you know anybody that this could help, please send it to one person. I'd really appreciate it. Please remember to follow me on YouTube. I'm trying to get to 1,000 people. Thanks so much, guys. Peace out. Have a great day.